Hello, I'm Kari. I am going to be doing a live art video here in just a few minutes, and I am just going to wait and see who else hops on for the next few minutes or seconds. I'm also doing this on Instagram too, so I'm going to be using both screens here.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Sandy. I don't know if you meant to be on the video with me, but hi.
I actually did not need to be.
Okay.
When I'll get off, I'll
Okay.
figure out how to get off of it.
Sounds good.
I was just going to watch.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
I'm out of here.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
So apparently on Instagram you can request to join a video and then be on it with you. So that was kind of cool. But all right. Well, I'm not exactly sure. There we go. Okay. Well, hopefully I'll see comments if they pop up. Hi, I'm Kari, and I'm an artist. I live in northern Minnesota, and I'm doing my very first live art show at home. And so I'm set up in my dining room, and I am hopefully going to be showing you a few pieces, and I tried to do a theme for my show tonight. I wanted to do all my lake paintings. So I'm going to move off to the side a little bit here. Move off to this side. And this is one of my favorite pieces here. This is one of my bigger lake paintings. I really enjoy lakes and fish and all things that have to do with being outdoors. I like to be outside, camping, fishing, canoeing, probably as much as I like painting. I don't know, maybe I like them both the same, but hi Jackie, and hi Demeray family, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. I can see comments, so that's good. But yeah, I love the outdoors, and one of the reasons why I really like to paint these kinds of scenes, water scenes, lake scenes, and fish is because it's what I really like to do. And so a lot of my paintings are based off of memories of camping or places we've been, places maybe I want to go in the Boundary Waters, especially the Boundary Waters canoe area is one of my favorite places for inspiration. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in and start talking about some of my pieces. I'm going to be taking this one down eventually and hanging up a few more and showing you some. I thought I would maybe zoom in with the camera, but using my phone and my laptop at the same time is going to make it kind of hard to do that. So I'm going to probably bring some of the pieces close up first, and then I will hang them up on the wall for you to see. At the end of the show, I do have a link, and if you're on Facebook, you might see the link in the comments or in the description of this video. It's a link to a page on my website. If you put your email in there, then you'll get a coupon code, and the coupon code should automatically pop up on the screen. If it doesn't, just send me a message or write a comment in here, and I'll get that fixed for you. But that's kind of my way of saying thank you for joining me on my first live show. And I'll tell you more about that at the end. And I have a couple more announcements I'd like to make too. So I've recently started doing this art business and selling prints of my work, and I'm really happy to be able to do that because it's a great way for me to share more. I've been more inspired to make more paintings, and I've also I've just been doing a lot more, and some of it's scary, like going live on Facebook and Instagram, but it's just part of a journey. So here I am. I am going to start with this piece. And this one's called The Storm Behind the Campsite. This one's based off of a campsite that I did with my first and only girls only trip to the Boundary Waters. The Boundary Waters is canoe in only, and you take in what you can carry on your back or in your canoe. And so I did this trip with my sister-in-law, Jenny, and my friend, Mandy. And this is in piece inspired by that trip. This is our campsite. And if you've ever camped remotely or done any of that Boundary Waters trips, you know, like the weather is so important. Like watching the weather. You don't have access to any technology when you're up there, but being able to watch and seeing what the clouds are doing, what the weather is doing was just really important. You sense everything differently when you're up there. And so if you see clouds banking up on the horizon, you kind of have to wonder if it's going to be a storm. And it did turn out to be a storm. We only ended up spending 2 out of the 3 nights we had planned because we didn't want to be stuck out there in a storm. So this is the storm behind the campsite. And I love painting water. I love brightening the colors and bringing up the saturation of the moment of the piece. And I photograph when I'm out there. But then I bring it home and I use my own colors in it to bump it up and make it happier. My grandpa calls this one the forest on fire. I can see that because it does look like a forest fire, which could very well be for northern Minnesota with all of our forests, but it's definitely inspired by the Boundary Waters, storm behind the campsite. And this one is what I have on my website if you want to take a look at it up close. This one has a lot of really good color, but it also has really nice texture in it too. So I'll take it down and I'll try and bring it up close and see if you can see any of the texture. That's another thing that I love about my acrylic paints. That's what I use on canvas. So you can see right up in here, I guess, some of that texture that's in there. So that's storm behind the campsite. That's a big one. That's a 30 by 40 canvas. I'm going to show you another big one. Oh, hi, Ellen. Glad you joined me. I'm going to show you this one. This one's a 30 by 40 as well. And this is inspired by the same trip. I guess I had lots of good memories and photos to work from on this trip. This is on a portage. So where you hop from one lake to the next. You carry your canoe over there, and we day tripped it. As girls, we day tripped it, and we were thinking ambitiously, thinking we were going to do one of the hardest portages in the Boundary Waters by ourselves, to go up and day trip into another lake. But turns out there was no portage to be seen. It was all closed in woods. You'd have to kind of break your own trail carrying a canoe on your head. So we decided against that, but we did hop over. This is the lake that we stayed on. This was a tiny little portage, a tiny little strip of land, and then it hops over to the next lake. And so our canoe we were carrying, this is a Kevlar canoe. And what I like about these in the Boundary Waters is, well, they're light to carry, but I like to paint them because in the right sunlight, they glow this bright orange golden color, and they're beautiful. And so this is I love to paint these Kevlar canoes. And you can see where the material is seamed together and it's glowing in the sunlight, and the sunlight is just coming in on the trees and reflecting really nicely in the water. And I use big brush strokes in this painting. This one has bigger brush strokes, kind of emphasized here because I want that water to have that painterly look to it. So that's this one is called the Canoe Adventure, and I hope I'm hanging that straight. It's just another favorite of mine, because I love the canoe. So, and it has a lot of the same texture behind it as the other one, the storm cloud. And it's just kind of hard to show on here, but if you go on my website, you can get a close-up view and see some of them a little bit closer. This one's not a landscape painting, but this is a newer one that I just finished this week, and I wanted to hop on and share this with you really quick. So I was painting, and I was doing some lives painting, and you could see the process of this one, and I think on Facebook and Instagram, but this one is a sunfish that I did. And another inspiration source that I use is fish that we catch. And my kids have been really good the last 2 days over the weekend. We've been doing some fishing, and I got a lot of good inspiration. But this one is a sunfish that my husband caught. We didn't catch many fish this winter, and we were ice fishing, like back in February, and he caught this one. And the colors are so beautiful. And if you've experienced winter in northern Minnesota, it's gray and white for a really long period of time. So being able to catch a fish that has this many colors in it in middle of February is just really inspiring. And what I do, this one is a 12 by 12 canvas acrylic, and so because it's a sunfish, they don't really get that big, but I like to make them bigger. And this one definitely deserved that, and it needed all that room for all the color and the texture and details that I put into it. So he's got a lot going on there, and he's really, really bright and colorful. And so one thing I tried out was to ask for comments about naming the fish. And Chuck Johnson, I don't know that he's going to watch this, but if you are, Chuck, you named this fish, and his name is Sunniest, because he is the sunniest sunny that I have ever actually painted. So here's Sunniest, and Sunniest is up on my website too. Okay, another one. I'm gonna go grab another painting. Here's one. Now, this one I'm gonna show you is almost done. It's not gonna be on the website today, but hopefully tomorrow. This is when I was painting. My kids went up to their tree fort yesterday. I hauled my friend Giselle up there, all my paints and everything, and I started working on this one. It's nameless as of right now, so if you have a name for it, go ahead and comment on it. And it's a boundary water scene, or northern Minnesota lake scene. And what I like about this one, the texture on it is great. You can feel the texture on this original piece. But what I was thinking about when I was making this one, so we were on this campsite, which would have been kind of down in this area if you were thinking prospectively. And you look across and you see this island and the sun setting. And you kind of wonder while you're sitting there at your campsite, I wonder tomorrow what would be around that corner. And you think about your next adventure when you're up in the Boundary Waters, where you want to go, what you think you might see. And, you have your maps and your ideas of where you want to go, but there's always like another corner to go around and explore. And sometimes you end up in just a bay. Sometimes you end up with beautiful things, waterfalls or another portage that you can find into another lake. And we found all kinds of really cool things just going around. And so I'm working on this one. I've signed it down in the corner, but I haven't photographed it yet. So I hope by tomorrow morning that this will be up on the website as well. I'm really liking this one too. Okay, so I'm finding that some of these smaller pieces, if I put them up on the wall, they're going to be so tiny. So I'm just going to hold them up and hopefully I can hold them straight. This is a metal print, and I wanted to share this with you because this was a print that I ordered from my website when I was ordering some of the different types of material. And this is a white gloss metal print, and this is a print of one of my original paintings of my daughter and I up in the Boundary Waters. Last year it was their first trip, and my husband took this photo from his kayak with my other daughter who was in her kayak. But so this is kind of a very special piece to me because it's got has us in it, people in it. I don't normally paint people, but for this instance I did. And I was curious what the metal prints look like. Now this metal prints, you can get in any of the prints on my website, but I wanted to share this with you because if I do paint on these long odd shaped canvases once in a while, and if you are looking for something that doesn't have to be framed, You could get a canvas print, but the metal prints are really cool too. I want to show you the back. They're really thin, they're really lightweight, and they have this custom like hanging system on the back. So you've got the wire. They give you the pieces to put right in the wall. And then there's the little foam tabby things on the back to protect the wall and the piece itself. And the colors are great. I was looking at this piece earlier. Oh yeah, right in here. I don't know if you can see that. My camera is a little bit higher, so I'm going to go here first. There's like, you could see the brushwork texture. And I was thinking, oh, that's going to be missing from what's in the original. You can feel that, but you get to see that too in the print on here. So that's really cool. You can see some of that texture right here in this really thin, glossy metal print. So I'm a big fan of these metal prints. Okay, I'm going to grab one more. Maybe I have a few more. Okay,